Welcome to the Sideline, the Coaches Show edition. We're here with Coach Lenny Jankowski, Athletic Director and Head Football Coach at Vero Beach High School. Derek's to my right, and if you don't know, it's Lenny to my left. How you doing today, Lenny?
Good guys. Good to see everybody.
Hey, big win Friday night over Palm Beach Lakes in a game that basically just wouldn't end. I mean, Palm Beach Lakes kept fighting tooth and nail, and run us through that real quick.
Well, we talked about it in the preview that we were expecting some athleticism, and I think we warn our players all the time, coaches, fans, everybody alike, that you can't get caught up in score comparing and looking at records and things like that. We knew that Lakes coming into the game had played a hellacious schedule coming into it, and knew that they had some athletes, and so I think everybody realized pretty quick that we had our work cut out for us, and that sometimes things don't happen as easy or as well as you'd like them to. But I was proud of our effort. We certainly had some hiccups along the way, but I think we went into halftime up 21-7 and ended up with a 44-28 victory. And any time when things, when you're not playing your best and you're able to come out, on top, I think that it's a testament to the maturity of our team. There were some back and forth things that were happening during that game. As you mentioned, the game seemed like it would never end, but every time they seemed to answer, we were able to counter and come back with a big score and try to keep. It seemed as if we kept that cushion all night long, to where they never were able to close to where the outcome was going to be determined. But again, there's some things that need to be cleaned up, and that's what we practice for, and that's what we'll be up against this week.
A little adversity in week 5. Now it's going into week 6 for them, Derek. It's week 2. He touched on the effort word again. Week 2 of the Sideline TV show. Are you going to raise the bar a little bit this week?
I'm going to give it a try. I want to ask Coach. So you have you're running these kind of plays. We're going to watch some film here next. We talked about it last week. You're running some kind of different plays. You're worried about showing too much, or do you have so much in the bag that you're not worried about showing a few things?
I don't usually hold things back. Over the years, we usually, will have a formation each week that our opponent hasn't seen. We're in a day and an age where you just might as well plan on your opponent seeing every game that you've played. All of our games are on, local TV, and you get internet access and huddle and different things like that. So it's pretty easy to get a hold of film, and so but what we try to do is have a little wrinkle each week, whether it be a formation, a play, or something that our opponent hasn't seen. And that doesn't necessarily mean that we've changed things have all kind of crazy changes, but just a little something that our opponent hasn't seen. We don't usually hold too much back.
This guy right here loves to throw the counter. He tries to act like he doesn't hold anything back. He's got all kinds of tricks up his sleeve. I can promise you that. He'll give you a formation, but there's 19 different plays that'll come out with another formation. I can promise you that. We're going to go to break. When we come back from break, we got a special little twist to the Coaches Show this week. We're going to go over some game film right here behind us and have Coach Jay talk about what's happening during the play, the outcome, whether it was good or bad. Coach, I can't just do all positive. We got to have a couple negative plays.
I wouldn't expect you to.
So there you go. Baseball player growing up, he's always ready for the curveball. Don't go anywhere. It's the Sideline Show right here with Coach Lenny Jankowski. Back after these messages.
Join us for an adventure weekdays at 4:30 and 8:30 on Buzz TV Network. Stop by Patty's Printing and Graphics in downtown Vero Beach. Owner Patty Callahan prints it all, from color and black and white copies to blueprints, banners, signs, prints of paintings, and fine art. Patty makes restorations and creates outstanding graphic designs. Call Patty at 770-1521 or stop by Patty's Printing and Graphics at 2345 14th Avenue. Stop by for all of your printing needs at Patty's Printing and Graphics, across from the old railroad station in downtown Vero Beach. Buzz TV Network is now the fastest growing new media outlet on the Space and Treasure Coast. Follow Buzz TV Network and tell a friend.
And get them out, hold them up. That's your sideline pass. It was good. Now, as you are on the sideline with Coach Jankowski, head football coach at Vero Beach High School, also the athletic director, and he's on the show with us today in his coach's show. And behind us, we've got some film we're going to go over. But before we get to that, Coach, real quick, I mean, as crazy as your schedule is, as athletic director and head football coach, all the stuff is going on, all the stress components that come along with it. About 30 minutes before kickoff, I always get to run into you, and I like to talk with you and see what's going on. You seem so at peace, like it's your solace on that football field. How is that?
You know what? I don't know. I think that the work that goes into football happens during the week. During the practice time, and on Fridays, it seems as such that I become our players' biggest fan. I really enjoy getting out there and. The roughest part on Friday is the waiting game.
Right.
It seems like we've got pregame meal and you've got 7 periods that our kids go through, and we wake up early on Friday. We do a big breakfast, FCA breakfast, so the day starts very early, and then you wait all day for the 7 o'clock kickoff. So as we get closer, like I said, I've never had anybody describe it to me that way, but I do enjoy as we get closer.
It's crazy. I was telling Derek earlier today, Coach, that I can't even keep it pinned up. Like, I have no part in the game, and I'm freaking out.
Yeah.
So I tell him it's amazing how Lenny is before kickoff. Well, let's jump into it. We're going to start off with the first play, Coach, as you see lined up here. This is Corbin Moment's punt return, block punt return for a touchdown. Walk us through what happens here.
All right, well, this is a pretty standard punt formation that they're in, and we work very hard on special teams. Coach Bethel is our punt return guy, and it's as everybody says, it's 1/3 of the game. But we feel like when we play to our strengths, that being strong in special teams is an area that we gain huge advantage over our opponents. So we work very hard at it, and we're going to come after this one with a punt block. Davion Cross ends up getting the block here, coming through the middle, and then Corvin, the second time this year. Scoops and scores and is able to use his strength, his athleticism, and his really just his pure determination just to get in there and score the touchdown. And you can see our defense going crazy. Most of our punt return team is our defense. We bring off one guy and then bring in we bring in MJ as the punt returner.
Right.
So. Leads us into this next clip, which is the kickoff return from the opening play of the game. So we get off to a great start here. We have the reverse return going, and some great blocking happening in there, and then MJ does his thing and gets us off to a great start. We get out to a 7-0 lead here after this great punt return or a great kickoff return. The kickoff return, really, there's a lot involved. Obviously, MJ's the guy that gets to break the tape and gets his name in the newspaper there, but there's a lot that goes on with that. We had some great blocks along the way, some double team blocks, and carrying out a fake there on the reverse. So it's a great team effort. Obviously, MJ's a dynamic player, and he's a great guy to have in your return game. But there's a lot of guys going to work there on that play. You want to go to the next one?
Yeah, let's go to the next one. But the thing with the kickoff return, like you said, is the amazing blocks that happen within it.
Right.
The fans don't see that as much as they see MJ racing.
All right, this is looks to be a defensive clip here. We get pressure on the quarterback, and then he's able to step up. He was a very athletic quarterback. We had pressure from the outside. He used his alertness and his awareness to step up in the pocket. And we had him corralled. It looked like we had him corralled from the outside. He stepped up in the pocket, found a little crease, and turned it into what we thought was going to be a negative play. Credit to him and his athleticism to, as you see, an 8 or 9 yard gain.
Coach, on defense right there, that's what you want out of your defensive line, is you want to create that pressure. Moment comes on the outside, Corbin. No. Calvin.
Right.
Calvin Moment the third. Let's get it right. Comes on the outside, creates even more pressure, and then he's able to squirt off. I mean, you can't be mad at your line for that.
No, sometimes like we talked about in the opening, that the other team doesn't always cooperate. And so we had a blitz going there, and Calvin comes through and comes through clean, and he's getting pressured from to the offense's right. The quarterback feels it, and is alert enough, athletic enough to step up in the pocket. We had pressure from the outside on the offensive left edge with Ryan McDonough coming up there as a defensive end. He steps up underneath that pressure, escapes, and gets an 8 yard gain.
So we go to the next clip, which I think is another defensive clip. Basically the same formation, same defense.
This was a 4th down play for them, 4th and short. And so we go into a short yardage defense, which if they were in a standard pro-style offensive formation, we would have had 6 guys on the line of scrimmage.
Right.
But as you can see, they come out and they're spread. And so we had to widen out, and Corvin Moment there up at the top is lined up outside. Sometimes he could line up off the edge as they are on the offensive right down here, lined up off the edge. But since they're in a spread formation, he widens out, and you'll see as this play goes on that James Riley, who's lined up over the slot up top, ends up roaming to the middle of the field. We get big pressure from the inside and come up with a big 4th down stop. You can see the penetration there. Davion Cross, number 24, fills, and the guy was ruled down. The ball ended up coming loose, but as you can see, the official up top ruled the ball down, and we get a big turnover on downs.
I was going to say, the 12th man viewing this right now is thinking the same thing they were thinking that night. That was a fumble, scoop and score.
Right,
what are you
right.
doing? But they ruled his knee hit the ground before the ball squirted out. Turnover on downs.
Yeah.
All right, so on this play, we're going to go back to your natural side of his offense, and we're going to pick apart your position, your guy, because you are the quarterback whisperer, Coach. Talk about Proctor's play right here.
Well, this is a play that we run out of a bunch of different formations. It's a pretty simple stick concept that we run a lot, and it's what we consider quick game. When we're critiquing and being critical of the position, actually in pregame, I told our players this, and we talked about it yesterday during practice, that when things get a little hairy, we always have to revert back to technique and fundamentals. And,
right.
and some of the mistakes that we made in the game, because we didn't revert back to that. You got to trust your fundamentals. You got to trust your technique. You got to trust your coaching. And here's what we call quick game. So this is a play where the quarterback, when he's out of the shotgun, is not supposed to take a big drop or anything like that. And he's moving backwards, as we'll see here. He's taking a little bit too long to get the ball out, which causes those first 2 guys to be covered, and he just kind of gets rid of it late deep. So he got off his progression there, and then ends up having to throw the ball away. This next play is on the offensive side of the ball again, and number 1 was their free safety. He's a guy that had 2 picks in the game, and again, being critical of the position. Carson's a great player. And we shouldn't let that happen. That guy, comes from the middle of the field to intercept a ball that's on a corner route to, one of our better receivers. So we'll get all that corrected. Again, hats off to him. He made a couple great plays. Number 1 did, and those are all points that we'll learn from this game and hopefully get corrected.
Absolutely. We're going to go to break, but that was a great little tail of the tape right there. I hope you guys learned something. When we come back, we're going to wrap up Palm Beach Lakes and preview Centennial, the big district game, Week 6. When we come back right here on the sideline and Buzz TV.
Attention, this important message is for any American who is about to turn 65 years of age or older. Nation's Helpline has Medicare supplement insurance news that may benefit you, your family, or someone you know. Most Americans who are about to turn 65 years old know they need Medicare supplement insurance, even if they already have Medicare. The Nation's Helpline Medicare supplement team can guide you and help answer your Medicare questions. Call today.
Please call 800-632-2804.
The Furniture Man is a locally owned business that has served the needs of the community of Vero Beach and Indian River County for over 30 years. Here at the Furniture Man, we offer fine pieces to furnish each and every room of your home. Specializing in Floridian style, come browse our selection of bedroom, dining room, patio, and living room. Come explore over 10,000 square feet of showroom where you can find mattresses, recliners, sofas, dining, and more. Visit us at 673 US 1 in Vero Beach, Monday through Saturday for all of your furniture needs.
And welcome back to the sideline, the Coaches Show with Lenny Jankowski right here on Buzz TV. Thanks for joining us, however you're viewing us, whether it be your phone, your iPad, the internet at your house. Thanks for joining us on Buzz TV. We're sitting here with Coach Jankowski, and after breaking down film, now you have an audience this time. Usually it's your players, usually it's you in the dark room cutting this film up. How was that for you?
I enjoy it. Anytime I'm talking football, I enjoy it. So it's fun to talk to you guys, and hopefully our viewers enjoy it as well.
He was almost a professor up there, Derek, just breaking it down and schooling us in some football knowledge. So we appreciate you taking the time to do that, Coach. Real quick, let's wrap up the big win of Palm Beach Lakes. Give me some good things you take away and some bad things as you move into the week of practice.
Well, I think, going with our big buzzword since we're on Buzz TV was the effort. I was pleased that with I was pleased with how well we played for 48 minutes as far as effort, and we mentioned we didn't have great execution at times during the game, but I felt like every time that they answered, we were able to counter and come back with a score and keep the game in hand, so to speak. So I was pleased. There were some great individual plays. I thought Akeem Dixon had a great run there for a big play. MJ had a couple big plays. Carson makes some nice throws. Defensively, we made some big plays, the big fourth down stop. But on the flip side of that, there are some things that, I felt like maybe we were exploited a little bit. Our secondary certainly has to get better. We talk about, mentioned it with Carson there, going back to fundamentals and technique. We put a big emphasis on that in Monday's practice, that, when teams, offenses especially, start to tempo us, from a defensive perspective, then we need to be able to go back to where and it starts with stance and alignment and all those things that we hound on on a day-to-day basis, and we got a little lax. I thought we got out of position a little bit, and they were able to make plays. So those are things that we get paid the big bucks to get corrected, and we'll work at that this week. We've got great kids that work very hard. I think they respond very well. Obviously, as you mentioned, this is our first district opponent, so this is a huge week for us. I think our kids recognize that. Our coaches certainly recognize it. I'm sure our fans do as well. And we're looking forward to having a great week of practice, and hopefully that leads into a well-played game Friday night.
Derek, we're going into week 6. We're officially halfway. And the one thing, let's get to the numbers of Vero Beach High School's offense right now. And the one thing is, fans aren't used to. We had 220 yards against Palm Beach Lakes on the ground. Mm-hmm. With MJ McGriff and Akeem Dixon hitting the ground for 220 yards. And then also 12 different receivers have a reception or more during the season. I mean, that's huge when you're looking at that side of the ball.
Yeah, and I also want to go back to what you were talking about previously with Carson and getting in the rhythm, and or you're just saying going back to fundamentals. I'm saying how much of it is a rhythm thing because you've missed so much on-field practice time with the rain. We missed a game because of a rain out, and then you come back have a blowout, so you don't get a lot of plays. Is that part of some of the things you're seeing?
Sure, I think that any time that you're working on timing and those kinds of things that go along with playing well, I'm sure that it plays into it. But to not let them off the hook completely, we played better in games previous when we've had some hiccups during the week as far as practice time goes. Okay. So I just think it was one of those nights where that we just didn't play as clean as we'd like to. I think in all three phases, but we needed all three phases to win the game. We mentioned we saw a couple great clips of special teams play, right, where we played very well. Had a couple of very big plays defensively, and then some big plays on offense. So as soon as I get ready to be overly critical, we needed all three phases to come up big for the win, But yeah, I think that getting back to Carson specifically, he's a guy that he's a very cerebral player that analyzes things, and it just wasn't happen as it usually does, and so there's a couple throws that I'm sure he'd like to have back, and there were several plays that offensive receivers, if we get the catches, and we had several drops that could have turned into big plays. We had several runs that end up being 2, 3, 4 yard gains that were really close to hitting it big. So right. I think you get those things cleaned up. That it's usually one guy or one position that we got 11 positions on the field at once. Maybe one guy has a bad play, and it turns into something that doesn't look as clean as you'd like it to.
Right. You talk about the rain and the weather, Coach. Centennial comes in with 21 days between games before they played last Friday night. So it's not just affecting Vero, thank goodness. It's affecting everybody up and down the coast.
Sure it is. I mean, it's, this part of the world, we've been hit with it here pretty rough. And, with the rain, it hasn't just been the rain. It's been, there's lightning attached to this rain.
Exactly.
So we've been called off the field as we were yesterday, and we just deal with it and keep rolling.
Simple as that. Al Gore's back, the guy who invented the internet. He says it's because of global warming is why we're getting all the flooding up and down the Treasure Coast. So thanks, Al Gore. We appreciate you touching in. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, Sideline Radio Show on the Buzz with Coach Lenny Jankowski, we're definitely going to break down the Centennial game, 3 keys to the win, and the overall health of the squad. So don't go anywhere. Back after these messages.
Now that health reform is law, you cannot be denied health insurance coverage, but you can pay too much.
As a single mom, I was convinced that we could not afford health insurance until I spoke to the people from ICANN, who told me that I qualified for a special enrollment and a subsidized rate. Now I get so much more for so much less.
Call now and get the ICANN mobile app free. So don't wait another minute. Call ICANN, get covered, save money.
Marsha.
Hi, I'm Penny Chandler.
I'm Freddie Wolford.
I am Barbara Hoffman.
And I'm Gregory Simpson.
I'm here with Police Chief David Curry.
You're in good company on VeroBuzzTV.com, Vero Beach's local TV station on the internet.
I just love it.
Tell a friend.
We love y'all!
And welcome back to the Sideline right here on Buzz TV, your one-stop shop for anything happening in local sports. You'll find it right here on the Sideline. We've got Coach Lenny Jankowski, head football coach, Vero Beach High School football. You should know that by now. We've only been doing this for 4 years. Coach Jay, before we went to the break, we were talking about the game of Palm Beach Lakes moving into this week's big district game. It is Port St. Lucie Centennial. What are we looking as we come in? I mean, I got a couple guys. Number 2, Ben Tippy, looks like their playmaker. Number 11, big, strong quarterback. Defense likes to give you a couple looks. They'll go 4-3, 3-4. They might even give you a 5-2 look out of the spread. How's the game break down for you?
Well, starting with their offense and our preparation from a defensive standpoint, they appear to want to be a spread football team this year, and we know that going into this game, as you mentioned, they had multiple weeks to get ready for the game that they played previous. So I would assume that some of the preparation in that game was geared towards getting ready for us. So it wouldn't be shocking for them to, and they've done it in previous years, to change a little bit of their style of offense. What they've done to us in the past under Coach Parker is they've gone to a very ball control style of offense against us, have gone with some heavy formations where they've just, try to counter what we try to do. We try to play fast, and in turn what they've tried to do is eat clock and control the ball a little bit, and they've been successful against us in that. So I mean that's not that far-fetched to think that they won't go back to doing something like that. But in preparation, we've got to prepare and be able to line up to all their different formations, be sound, go back to those fundamentals and technique that we talked about earlier, be able to get lined up and play football. Allow our guys to play and play fast and play hard. So we'll be ready for whatever it is that they bring to us offensively. And then on our offensive side of things, they've defended us very well over the last several years. Mostly what they've done to us in past years is they've worked out of an odd front, a 3-4 defense, really dropped a bunch of guys into coverage, played our screens pretty well. So we've had to rely a little bit on the run game and do some things to play to the numbers, so to speak. But a lot of the film this year shows them in a 40 front. So again, in preparation, I think we've got to be prepared for just about anything.
Right.
And it causes for a hectic work week for sure, because we've got to at least present all these pressing problems or potential problems to our players, and make sure that we can adapt to anything that they may give to us.
And that 4-letter word's got to stop rearing its head. Rain.
It does. Since you're wearing the Vero Beach golf shirt,
yes,
I want to ask you: is football like golf, where it's tough to get all 3 phases working on any particular day?
I think it can be. Yeah, I think it can be. Fortunately, as we try to impress our players with, is that we want to play to our strength, and we've got strength in numbers, we've got very good depth, and I think that we should always be very good in special teams. I think that That's a phase of the game that we always need to play well in, because I think that we can, especially what we call two platooning, where our offensive starters usually aren't playing on the defensive side of the ball, so we can use our starters on special teams, and we don't have big drop-offs between our starters and our backups, so we can use some of these quality backups, run down and kick coverage in the return game, and it's such an integral part of what we do. So I think we always need to play well on special teams. We've done good with the kicking and the punting side of things, and then defensively and offensively, I feel like we've got good players. We've got some very good coaches on staff, and we work pretty hard at it, I like to think, so yeah, but to get it all clicking, I don't think, and I don't think anybody believes that we've played our best football yet. We're looking to get that, get better each and every week, and I hope our best football is yet to come.
Now it's time for the 14 Bones Health Report. 14 Bones, the best barbecue up and down the Treasure Coast. Make sure you get out there. Even after the game, they're open until midnight. With your game ticket, you get a 10% discount. Coach, Patrick Bethel was back on the field. You had to be greatly pleased about that. How's the overall look of the health of the team?
Well, it's great to have Pat back to start with, and I think early in the game, he was a little tentative with, he's been out for several weeks, and as the game went on, I think we saw what we expect, from Patrick. He's a great player, very well advertised, and a great kid. So it's exciting to get him back, and he'll be stronger this week and continue to get stronger throughout the season. Harrison Wood is still a question mark, and we're hoping he's a guy that has started on our defensive line, was a big fit for us on the O-line when we lost Cameron Hendricks and Snook Cosgrave. So we're hoping to get him back. We had a couple guys that were banged up a little bit coming out of the game. We got Sean Harvey with a little bit of a shoulder deal that we're hoping to have him for Friday night. Brandon Wallace was out this past Friday. He's a corner for us, starting cornerback. We hope to have him back. It's just pretty typical this time of year. We've got some pretty typical bumps and bruises that can hold guys out of practice. We try to get them healthy and get them ready for Friday night.
It wouldn't be football without some bumps and bruises, Coach.
There you go.
So you got to get the squad out there. So big district week, no matter who it is, when it's a district game, is very important.
Yeah, we need the 12th man out there. We're hoping for great weather Friday night, and hopefully we pack it in, and we always enjoy seeing our fans. I know our players love looking up there and seeing that sea of red, as we call it. So
pack a lunch, pack a poncho, get your butt out to Bill Livingstone Citrus Bowl. 7 o'clock kickoff, first district game of the year. Coach Jankowski, thanks for the time. Good luck Friday.
All right, thank you guys.
Now that health reform is law, you cannot be denied health insurance coverage, but you can pay too much.
As a single mom, I was convinced that we could not afford health insurance until I spoke to the people from ICANN, who told me that I qualified for a special enrollment and a subsidized rate. Now I get so much more for so much less.
Call now and get the ICANN mobile app free. So don't wait another minute. Call ICANN, get covered, save money.
Get them out, hold them up. That's your sideline pass is good now, right here on Buzz TV, coming to you every Tuesday through Friday, where we'll have a coach's show with Coach Jankowski as we break down all that's happening with Vero Beach High School football.
And then we're also going to have the Sports Buzz show, where we're going to talk about local and national trending topics.
And maybe some of that his diet and how not to eat like him. Be like me, coming straight out of Indian territory. It's the Sideline Show, and you can find us right here on Buzz TV.
One-of-a-kind videos, unique perspectives, original programming, only on Buzz TV Network. Spread the word and tell a friend.